Okay, I'm going to wing it. As you know, every meeting we read a notice from the town which basically asks if there's anybody here who's recording the meeting to please make themselves known under some chapter of Massachusetts law, which I can't remember. Is anybody here raising their hands? No. Seeing nobody, we will move on.
Well done.
Nicely done.
Okay. Start with a roll call. I'll start on my left here.
Chris Kelsey, Barnstable Police. Bill Monroe, Board.
Jim French, Board.
Maureen Piccioni, Board. Chris Clark, Town Council Liaison.
Pete Sampu, Board.
Katie Ashwatz, Natural Resource Officer, Sandy Neck.
Anne Marie Lupino, Assistant Park Manager, Sandy Neck.
Nina Coleman, Park Manager, Sandy Neck.
And Tom O'Neill, Board. Thank you. Minutes from December. Anybody have any comments, additions, subtractions from the December minutes?
Move the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I have a comment.
Who seconded that?
I'm sorry.
I did.
I have a comment.
Yep.
Whoever makes these minutes, they do a hell of a job.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Donna mostly, is it? Yeah, I think it's usually
They
Donna.
really do.
Yeah, she's good.
They are very, very good.
Yep, it takes a team. I have nothing to say under notes from the chair, so we don't have a guest speaker this week. Next month, we are going to have a guest speaker who, hey Gordon, how you doing? Yeah. Who is our very own Pete Sampu. As you know, I sent out to you guys that I thought really interesting water quality report that came out recently, which kind of covered a lot of issues on the Cape's water quality, and I thought particularly interesting, particularly related to the area of water, open water around Sandy Neck. And I think, you know, one of the things that I want to be mindful of, and we had Peter Lefterakis here in December or November, I forget now what it was, but who was from the Friends of Barnstable Harbor. And I think it's important for us to kind of open our eyes to the broader perspective of things that are going on around Sandy Neck and that impact Sandy Neck. So, you know, I'm always looking for options to talk to people who are also working on issues that kind of are contingent or related to what's going on at Sandy Neck. So I thought that report was pretty interesting, but way over my head scientifically. So I thought we would ask Mr. Sampu, our resident board scientist, to break it down to plain English and take us through a general overview, what the report implications of the report are, but more specifically focusing on the implications for Sandy Neck and the area of the bodies of water, the bays around Sandy Neck. So that'll be our March meeting. So hopefully everybody will have at least read the report and have some comments and good insights, so we can have a good discussion around that.
We'll keep it at the undergraduate curriculum level.
Appreciate that.
I was going to say, Pete, are you capable of doing it in English?
In English, probably.
He was teaching. What were you teaching at high school kids? That's about right, I think.
I taught even graduate level courses.
Yeah, no, not that level.
Right, no. I think,
All right.
yeah.
There's no correspondent. I had the letter to Peter Lefterakis from the Friends of Barnstable Harbor, just thanking him for his attendance. Anything else? Okay, staff report.
All right. Now, I'll just start. Anne Marie, our assistant park manager, do staff report. But I want to take a minute. Is it in here to introduce Keely? I'm going to introduce Keely Ash Alex. Always mess that one up. Is our new natural resource officer. Keely, do you want to say a little bit where you come from? And
Yeah, so I actually spent many years in medical administration and decided later in life to go back to school and get into environmental science. And I started at Cape Cod Community College. I went there for 2 years. Then I got my degree from Southern New Hampshire University. I've worked in various different places, a little bit shorebird monitoring at Nauset. I did work with diamondback terrapins with New England Coastal Wildlife Alliance. I was actually with the USDA NRCS before I came here. I was out of West Yarmouth and Wareham, and then I worked over this summer with Mass DCR at Washburn Island State Park. So yeah, it's been quite a journey to get here, and it's very lovely to be with this crew and at this place and like get to my roots of this coastal ecology that I really like. So thanks for having me.
Well done.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keely. We're excited to have her. Keely's gonna really take on the shorebird piece this summer, help with supervising our younger staff, and we're really excited to have her on board. So with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Anne Marie to do the staff report.
All right.
So right now, all 2025 permits have expired as of January 15th. So new permits need to be bought prior to going out on the beach. ORV permits are being mailed out at this time. The gatehouse is closed due to construction, so we don't have anywhere for people to pick them up currently. Also, parking lots are still closed due to construction. And then right now, the ORV is open on weekends, weather dependent. So check the website to get that information, and we also are sending out push notifications at this time, keeping everyone informed. And if the ORV is open, no fires.
Do you have anything here about the cottage owner access? No. So all the trails are blocked in for those who are cottage owners at the table. You really can't get down the trails at this point, and you can't get down access trails. So we're waiting for a melt.
Right,
Next Wednesday.
Okay,
right.
she said it.
I've had a couple of people ask me, are there any snowy owls out here this year?
We've had one, but we haven't in over, I would say, a month now.
Really?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay.
Are you guys getting out on the beach now? Did you get?
We're able to, yeah. Take a look at the beach, yep.
So just wanted to put it out there for people who do need to renew or obtain an ORV permit. To do so, you need to be visiting the Sandy Neck website. You're going to see a link that says Sandy Neck Offer Vehicle Permits. Click here, please click on that. From there, you're going to click on Permits, License, Certifications. You're going to choose Sandy Neck ORV Permit and click Apply. When you click Apply, please make sure you fully go through the application and hit Save and Continue to make sure that your application actually went through. From there, you'll be getting an email back from us if a permit was approved or denied. You'll go get an email back depending on if it was approved or denied to either pay or to go back into the application and fix it. Right now, website updates that will be happening this month. All access information is updated weekly. Sandy Neck walks and talks and seasonal positions will be posted this month to the town's website. Seasonal job opportunities include gatehouse supervisor, gate attendant, shorebird monitor, seasonal natural resource officers, facilities maintenance, and also beach aid. Also later this month, we're going to have an opportunity to be visiting Barnstable Innovation School to introduce them to Diamondback terrapin conservation ahead of a field trip that they'll have at Sandy Neck this spring. That was part of the Sandy Neck relocation project with the MVP grant. It was a really great opportunity we had last year, and we look forward to continue it this year. And then these are two great videos of kind of what's going on right now for the project down at Sandy Neck for the relocation. You can see this is existing where the gatehouse used to be, and now will be parking and staff location for the garage. As you continue up the road, you'll get to see the gatehouse and where she's going to be sitting in all of her glory. She looks really great, and where it is, it's a really great viewpoint for staff to see up and down Sandy Neck Road. You can actually see the access trail now, and so if we have vehicles that accidentally take that right before they get out on the beach, we'll get to see them beforehand. Then you'll be able to see the new access trail. They already have created the new air shed. It's going to be off to the left, not in the middle. As we get there.
The road is longer than I remember.
No, I know.
It never feels that long when you're there.
I agree.
It'll help with traffic flow in the middle, not having the fence. And you can see this is the new view of the lower parking lot. This is the south side dune that was built up. You can see the construction of the rain garden that will be in the middle for a small swale that will help with drainage. To the left of the bathhouse, there'll be a walking path to the upper lot, down to the lower lot. And as I come around, you can see the new primary dune that they've been able to vegetate. They've installed erosion fencing at the top. You can see the construction of our new overlook. There's a stair system on top of the handicap accessible ramp. You can see where the bathhouse is. We've done some work to the pergola. And you can see as we move all around where the new upper lot will be placed and where they're using it for construction right now. A lot going on, a lot of moving
I
parts.
encourage you to take the tour if you get a chance. It's really,
It really is
it
worth
brings
it.
it into context to be able to see it rather than even on video, you know, it's nice just to get up there and see it.
Are the tours on the weekend, or we call ahead to organize
Okay,
meeting
so-
you there?
The tour is not open to the public.
Of course not, right? But for-
Just reach
Just for
out
the
to me and we'll figure
Got it.
out when I
So-
can get the board and the town council to look at, to see the site, if anybody's interested in viewing.
Okay, good.
And then our final thing for the staff report is Boy Scout project update. Right now, Damien was able to finish the construction of his project, and this will be the signage that he plans on implementing.
Signage has been done, it's ready to be delivered.
So he's graciously,
He needs a signature
Yes.
this week
yep, I will be seeing him Wednesday.
in lieu of his 18th birthday, yes.
And he's graciously taken it upon himself to be able to keep them through the winter while we have construction, and then we'll put them out on the beach in the spring. So it's been great working with them.
Good.
Alright.
Do you want to do the safety presentation now or time-wise? We haven't really.
What else was on the agenda? Nothing?
Well, I mean, we talked about the project. There's really nothing else particularly going on other than the hills. There's no public outreach right now.
Yeah. No, there's,
Can't get out there, so.
I can reach you, but I can't take you out there, so,
So I think we could go right to it. Do you have anything else you want to say on the project?
I'd be happy to answer any questions. I mean, I think it's going well. I think we chose a difficult winter.
yeah, of course.
But I'm told we're still on time. And there's a lot of activity. You could see lots of stuff going on that they're trying to get done. The big wait now is for the pavement or to facility to open in April, and then that's going to make a huge difference. They'll come through and pave the whole property, and that will look put together. So I think it's going well. But I'd be happy to answer any questions.
On that video, when they went by the gatehouse, it looked like the road was only on one side. Eventually it's gonna be on both sides, is that my understanding?
That's correct. So the oncoming road going north is going to be 2 lanes wide, like the old gatehouse. So half of that will be quarantined off with flower boxes or something. And then going south out of the property, you go around the gatehouse, go on the back side of the gatehouse. So that right now is just raw sand, but it will be paved. But the key is how are we gonna keep people from not going down the wrong side of the road, because they're gonna try to pick the path of least resistance
But it's
instead of
right
kick off to
versus
the
left,
right.
Right? And you're if you're
I mean,
driving on the
in
right side of
theory.
the road, that's the way it's gonna
I
be
hear
set
what
up.
you're saying, yes.
It's a very sharp turn, so you can imagine someone just plowing down and not maybe
Yeah,
noticing
and
it's.
and the other concern, which I'm sure is taken in, is staff safety moving across there, you know.
Yeah, a couple of things on staff safety. The crosswalk crosses right in front of the gatehouse now. There'll be those Ballard light fixtures that are facing, illuminating down. So hopefully that'll help at night. We had a great session with the carpenters, and now staff, rather than interfacing with each vehicle from the ground, will be interfacing from the platform of the deck. So we drove a sedan up and we drove a truck up, and we figured out how you could exchange money or write a tag and not have to stand down in the road. there's also gonna be, about a bollard, like a safety bollard at the bottom of the stairs to keep staff safe. So that's a vast improvement from the old days. Mhm.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for that question.
Any other questions? Okay, so at the risk of repeating myself because it's an important topic, I've mentioned before I came out of the chemical industry, and nothing is more important in my lifetime during my work within safety. And it's a cultural thing. Safety. It's not about. It's something that every employee has to be responsible for. It's not in a big corporation. It's not the safety department's responsibility. It's each employee's responsibility. And any organization, to me, it's important that they take safety as really their key priority, because nobody wants to. I managed a large number of people driving trucks and rail cars and everything else, and I got over the years I did it. I got a number of phone calls, at night that one of my drivers had been killed or something in an accident, and nobody should ever get that phone call, believe me. And so the fact that we take this really seriously is important, certainly to me, and it should be to all of us. And that culture of safety is driven from the top of the organization. That's where it has to exist as a top priority, and I know it does here. So I look forward to this presentation every year. I think, Keely, you're going to do it this year, I think? Or who's going to do it?
I'm going to do it for this year,
Okay.
and Keely will be taking it on from here.
Okay, perfect. So with that, we'll turn it over to Anne Marie for the yearly safety presentation. Thank you.
So our safety solutions for the 2025 year. I love to point this picture out. I don't think anyone's going to remember last year, but we had a storm in September that took out the end of our Moby mat. We had to dig it out around 3 feet. So this was our solution this year, just in comparison. It worked really, really well. So general information for 2025, we did see a decrease in permit sales and camper nights, around 6% decrease for permit sales from last year to this year, and 7.5% decrease for camper nights. Though there was a decrease, if you look from 2020 to 2025, there still is that consistent kind of standpoint of where we are. We're seeing our numbers kind of stay steady, especially in the last 3 years. So that's good to see. So overall, we really like to, we always focus every year about aggressive behavior in regards to interactions that we have at the beach. For the 2025 season, we had 7 interactions that involved aggressive behavior either towards staff or other beach patrons. We also had 1 recorded domestic, also an assault, and then in total for the entire season, outside of police details being on during weekends, we had 7 responses. These here are general ones that we felt were important to include because they had to do with either staff or patrons. So in June, we had a patron be approached after speeding towards the lower lot. The patron themselves was acting erratic. The NRO who was on at the time was a seasonal staff member. They invaded their personal space. So for us, staff safety is the most important thing. They were able to get back in their truck, get to a safe point, and tell a supervisor who then dealt with the incident, and the police were called and asked to come deal with the patron. From there, the patron was able to leave the property. We have another one for staff where we now have a no floaty advisory on certain days with high winds. The patron didn't like that we were trying to ask that they didn't use their floats, and the interaction more had to do in regards with the staff member themselves and not asking the floats. So again, a supervisor was asked to come talk to the patrons, and it was de-escalated from there. All parties left that situation happy. We also had one where a party was approached in the ORV during the 4th of July. The 2 different parties had an argument, and from there, Sandy Neck staff stepped in, Barnstable Police Department stepped in. Both parties were asked to leave the beach. From there, we were able to figure out what was going on with one of the parties having alcohol, so everything they had was dumped out, and they were left the beach, and their permit was revoked from there for the remainder of the season. We also had another one where at curfew, there was an assault that happened in regards to a party on the beach that was accompanying an ORV permit holder. The police were contacted and took the investigation from there. An NRO, and then our last one had to do with a staff member in September. As a Good Samaritan was trying to assist someone stuck on the ORV trail, they had a miscommunication with our staff member. Again, a supervisor got involved, the patron was contacted, and we were able to de-escalate it and see where both sides were coming from. And at the end of the day, they said thank you for the NRO's help.
Quick question, Chris, how does this kind of general profile compare to the other beaches in Barnstable?
I would have to do some research on
I
that.
mean, just, how do you, just generally, do you think
I
it's-
honestly don't know.
You don't know.
I would have to, like, right here, I was able to pull the calls for service for Sandy Neck. I would have to do that with the other beaches.
Okay.
This is the only beach that we actually have staff assigned to on the weekends. The other beaches, we don't unless there's some sort of special
Right,
event
right.
going on. And then, like I said, as far as the calls for service, it's easy enough information to get. Just
So there's nobody stationed at like the Hyannis, the main kind of Hyannis beaches down by the harbor and Calamus and places like that?
we do in the summertime have certain beaches with traffic details to assist with traffic flow because the roads will get blocked up. But as far as actually being out on the beach, Sandy Neck is the only beach that we have staff patrolling.
Okay.
And so this is our verbal warnings for the 2025 season, and they're comparative to 2023 and 2024. As you can see, I like to highlight in green kind of the main areas that were noted as having the higher verbal warnings for the entire year. I'd like to point a few of them out when we're looking at this. We have permit required. I like to see, I see that it says 23, which is up from years prior. And when I looked at it, I took the time to kind of comparatively see when those were coming in. And those were half of, so of the 23, 17 were from January to the end of March, which is that leeward period of like getting everyone to, hey, you need to get your new permit. So those are where those verbal warnings mainly came from. We also had a newly installed license plate recognition program that helped with the remainder of the other ones throughout the summer.
And Anne-Marie, if I recall, I think last year was the first year that the permit cycled to the beginning of January.
No, that's been a few years.
Oh, maybe just
You
shellfish.
might be thinking shellfish, yeah. I've been working through all the permits.
Okay.
But the license plate reader makes a huge difference because it makes it lets us know if the person isn't permitted. That license plate isn't permitted, and most of the time it's they haven't renewed, and that's why you see sort of that discrepancy in the
I
data, is we're actually able to pick those up and resolve them.
Is the permit not affixed, is that the multiple car scam going on with people?
No, that's people who just, you give them their envelope and
They
they
throw it in
just
the glove
throw it on
compartment.
they throw it on their glove compartment and head out because they're so excited. And then,
Or they
which
have
is,
two cars.
which is understandable, but we do need to have that
Yeah.
up for staff, so we just log that.
Yeah, and you can see a big improvement from last year. You know, starting at the gatehouse, letting people know early as they're either coming in, pulling
Yeah.
into the property, or getting their permit. Please put it on before you go out. Someone will talk to you.
You also have the beach permit that if someone comes in to go to the bathing beach, and they have the town permit or the sandwich permit. And that's a physical interaction versus a reader or.
that's a physical interaction, and they're guided to go up to the parking lot. The reader will pick them up if they take the wrong turn, and now we can actually see if they're taking that to the
Sometimes
ORV.
they think,
So the Corolla that turns onto the access trail is.
well, they actually get, don't make it too far, but, somebody borrows their in-law's car and it has a parking permit, and they're like, I have a permit, and it's an SUV. That will ding and come up red now, which is, and we can see our new gatehouse is in a spot where we could actually see. So I think we're getting ahead of that. But it's interesting, like people, are always like, are you guys getting after people about speed? Look, we're the speed, a dog off leash, tire pressure. These are the ones that we're constantly communicating with the public about. And you want to come out of the gate with the education and then the verbal warning and escalate from there. But you can see the staff is engaged with our patrons.
A few other small ones that I want to note it on was like parking in posted shorebird area. As we have our NSRIs, there are certain areas that you can't, we call them bump outs, you can't park in. You can see that it's gone up to 4. Generally, we have signs posted. What we learned this year, putting more no parking, definitely helped with keeping people out of those areas. Also, tire pressure increased from previous years too. That was luckily, we were proactive about trying to help the access trail and putting up spots where people would check tire pressure before people would go out, so we'd catch them before they were actually stuck, which helped drastically.
How do you catch them?
So we kind of, you park yourself before they get to the soft sand and before they go out in the morning, hey, I'm just gonna check a tire or two, and they usually are like, well, I'm just going to pull over and air down before we even do it. So, and like Nina said, speed is probably one of our bigger areas that we talk to patrons day in and day out for.
What's the asterisk for? It's a test.
I think the asterisk is there because it's the number 1 verbal warning that was given this year. It was also the number 1 citation that was given. Is right in here. Actually, oh no, ORV permit required. So there were anticipations with the license plate reader where ORV permit required, it would ding and we would get a little red notification, and then you go find the vehicle out on the beach, and permit and a citation was issued from there. Tire pressure, again, having more stops or secondary interactions, say you were stopped and talked to for speed. We'd also sometimes check your tire pressure, especially if you're speeding, it's clear as day. So once in a while that you can see that they need to be aired down as well. But yeah, these are the different topics that we had for citations. You can see we gave 10 speed citations. That was also in conjunction with, we now have 2 radar signs out on the beach for 10 miles an hour, 5 in the summer. 5 miles an hour is the posted speed limit for during shorebird season, and for public safety. And again, with having both of them going both ways at Trail 1, really helps us to see when people are coming and going off the beach, and the speed that they're going. Violations. Again, the temporary suspension, the 24-hour ban really does help in situations where someone, they do something wrong. We want them to understand that, we don't want them to do it again. And usually having them leave the beach for the day drives that home. Helps us be able to minimize that without having to write a citation or write a written letter in the mail. And people seem to appreciate that. They want to be able to come back to the beach the next day and not get their permit revoked.
Quick question, what's the drone prohibited?
Drone prohibited. Sandy Neck is a no-fly zone. It's a public bathing beach, so we don't allow people to fly drones in that area. It's also in proximity to the airport.
Just in the bathing area, right?
Anywhere on the Sandy Neck property, we don't allow drones.
Okay.
So all public beaches are no drones areas in town. I'm sure you wouldn't like being on a bathing beach and have somebody have a drone over your head. So that's in our bathing beach, town-wide bathing beach regulations. We also have it in our ORV regulations and a number of things. They're aggravating. they can really disrupt shorebird nesting
Yeah.
because they look like a predator. So we're pretty strict about it, and we're very close to the Marston's Mills Airport, so they're within that field of So they're still out there. We're always catching drones.
So in total, we had 51 citations go out this year, which you can see here from 24 to 25. It's increased, but our staff was definitely more proactive in certain situations, especially for speed and permit required to hand out citations in the moment and mail them out if needed. But overall, the trend is still decreased from years prior.
Is there a fine attached to those citations?
Yeah, they're dependent on what the regulations. And then for our EMS calls, it's kind of the trend line is staying steady. So year to year, we're having the same amount of EMS response every year, slightly up from last year, but generally that trend is staying pretty consistent with an increase slightly. For the 2025 season, these are our main incidents that occurred during the season. Luckily, I'm not going to get into too much detail into every specific one. What I will say is overall they went really, really well. Our staff is very proactive. If they hear anything over our radio, over the police radio, over West Barnstable Fire Radio, they're already in active pursuit to try to either get to the patron or the situation going on to hold the scene, either until EMS can meet us on the beach or meet us at the gatehouse if we're able to transport a patron back to rendezvous there. One of them I will go into is I think the 4th of July was our biggest incident. We had two same day, both different
literally
spectrums.
a dumpster fire.
Yes, yes,
okay.
literally. That is a picture of our dumpster fire. You can see it was at the end of the night.
Oh my goodness.
It was actually really good curfew from what I've heard with Barnstable Police Department and our natural resource officers getting everyone off the beach in a timely manner. As the last car is airing up and ready to go out, a residual firework exploded in the dumpster.
That's my sister, by the way. That's
Is
her
it?
Jeep.
Well, I thought you said she is.
That's her Jeep.
What is she doing throwing that stuff in the dumpster?
No, she didn't do it. She knows who did it.
She didn't do it.
So do we.
Yeah. No, she didn't do it. No. But I got first-hand knowledge of it. Like, you won't believe it.
Our staff was proactive. Luckily, this patron came in, let us know about it. We tried with extinguishers, and when we weren't able to with extinguishing two different extinguishers, we backed off and waited for West Barnstable Fire to come put it out. Yeah.
So my broken record will go once more with the fireworks. If there weren't fireworks out there, it wouldn't be dumpster fires with fireworks. There's still quite a bit of fireworks being shot up out there. It's not as scary to me with all the propane tanks and gas tanks and everybody jammed in there. It's frightening.
Yeah.
The other incident that we had on the 4th of July was one of our larger multi-agency responses for lost swimmers that came in from a third party. I think between our ocean radio, Barnstable Police Department's radio, and fire EMS radios, being an outside perspective, I know Nina was on the jet ski. There was a lot of different channels going on, but a lot of great communication. Luckily, we were able, the harbor master and Barnstable Fire were able to rendezvous with the missing individuals. They were able to get them back to safety. For the Sandy Neck perspective, we responded with Barnstable Police Department that was on patrol on the 4th of July with two of our natural resource officers on land through shoreboard area. Nina was able to respond via jet ski in the vicinity of where the call came in from. So, yeah.
Scary.
So I will say this. We do these drills every summer and they're great. I mean, we always have the same issue, which comes down to communication. And when you have multiple agencies not using the same frequencies, using multiple radios, it's challenging.
Yes, it is.
this real life situation was the best drill we ever had. It actually worked. All the communication worked the way it was supposed to. When there was a problem, people just pivoted and fixed the problem. We had different agencies riding in different vehicles, both on land and on water. The coordination through the staff was incredible, with the different agencies coming out of the gatehouse to make sure that the police department knew what was going on, make sure the fire departments knew what was going on, the Coast Guard, Harbor Master. It was a real life situation that these drills take care of every year, and the real life situation went off way better than all the drills ever did.
Thankfully, and these were juveniles, so this is the heart thumping situation, truthfully. It really was, well done.
And we like to put this in every year. Collaboratively, these are the agencies that we predominantly work with at Sandy Neck, either for trainings as liaison. So with Barnstable Police Department, obviously we have our liaison officer Chris Kelsey. They fill summer police detail shifts. We also do de-escalation training in the beginning of the summer season with all of our seasonal staff with the police department. West Barnstable Fire Department, they year-round in medical emergency response at Sandy Neck via land. They also help us with our safety trainings for CPR, firefighting. We also have partnered with them for Caltapo phone application for lost people. And we do that every single year early in the season with all of our seasonal staff. Barnstable Public Works, they help us annually with trail reconstruction maintenance. And they've also been a big help with the Sandy Neck long-term coastal resiliency projects, especially with towed exclusion fencing that we installed in August. So I wanted to put this in there. You guys saw when we did our verbal warnings, we did have a kind of a decrease in number for verbal warnings in August. Our staff and Barnstable Public Works were very much caught up in trying to get that in there for the start of construction. So it took us away from one thing. We also work heavily with Barnstable Harbor Master for jet ski training and water related emergencies. And we work with IFA and NECWA in regards to trainings for marine mammals and diamondback terrapin pit tagging. So a lot of different agencies. And IFA, especially I think now with the reconstruction of the parking lots and the new handicap ramp that will be installed, it's going to be a primary site for them to release dolphins into Cape Cod Bay that they have washed ashore and then need to get right back out. So, yeah.
So I have to get a plug-in for the Barnstable Fire Department.
Okay.
It's not up there.
It should be.
It should be,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I think we went.
I think you said this to me last year, and I apologize for that.
And I should have picked up on it too. Barnstable, we work very closely with Barnstable Fire Department.
Yeah, because we do all the fire training and stuff.
Yeah,
out there
100%.
Yeah, so Barnstable Fire Department, we work heavily with them. Any call to service that we have for the Cottage Colony or Beach Point, the North Finger, they're responding by boat. Typically, they take the person that's in distress by boat. It's a quicker way to get them to emergency services. And they also have drills out at the Cottage Colony if a fire was to break out. Thank you.
And there's equipment that is housed out there as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yep. Just saying.
I appreciate that.
Next year.
Promise next year.
I'm gonna highlight it.
Keep the retired firefighters out of the room and you won't have these problems.
And then, so this year we didn't do a preseason drill at Sandy Neck, but we did a multi-agency training at West Barnstable Fire Department with all hands-on for staff for Sandy Neck, Harbor Master, and West Barnstable volunteer firefighters. So we went over safety protocols for Sandy Neck in regards to the 4th of July and the summer season. We also rotated through stations for CPR, stop the bleed, Caltapo, firefighting, extinguisher use, and then just also a general station about Sandy Neck and West Barnstable and the relation between the both.
Can you talk a little bit about Caltapo?
I can talk a little bit about Caltapo. So during this training, they had all of our staff members, including Harbor Master, Sandy Neck, and any volunteer firefighters from West Barnstable Fire Department, download this app that is used in relation to if there was a lost person anywhere in the region of Sandy Neck. This is a central point that all different agencies can use as they're tracking and mapping. So you can actually see as someone's moving and it records you. And every agency, whoever's logged into it, can see what's going on. So it's really useful in that sense if something was to happen on Sandy Neck. It's a big area. We have multiple agencies trying to find someone, and it can be useful, especially on land.
Emily, who owns that app?
I don't have that information. I can reach out to West Barnstable Fire though.
And it's West Barnstable Fire who provided it?
Yes.
So
Yep.
they probably bought a license?
Yes.
Just saying, the fire departments are funded by their fire districts, not by the town, but service the town.
So for community outreach this year and previous years, we stick to the topics of public safety, EMS equipment, beach grass restoration. Again, this year was really big in ecology and the long-term coastal resiliency project, field work in relation to diamondback tarpon and shorebird monitoring. We were able to, prior to the start of construction, work with Barnstable High School and Upper Cape Tech out of Bourne. That helped us with a lot of work in dune restoration. We saved several different species of vegetated flora and fauna that they were able to pot, we stored, and we overwintered right near the access trail. And as we come into a little bit of warmth, we will be relocating those once again on the newly vegetated dunes and hope that they take. We also did some larger species with the contractor for beach plum and bayberry. Thank you. So for implemented solutions this year, we luckily have been able to hire 2 new staff members, NRO, Keely Ash Alex, and Assistant Natural Resource Officer, Jacob Turner. They are both designated to Sandy Neck full-time, and we're really happy to have them on board. They come with both different backgrounds that fit in really well with the team. So we're fully staffed for this upcoming year, which is awesome. We participated in the 2025 Barnstable High School internship program. We have 2 interns this year. They're going between Sandy Neck and Natural Resources and learning about both parts of that of marine and environmental affairs, which has been awesome. And then full-time staff has either completed lifeguard training or is going to be completing it this year coming up.
And I just want to interject because this was last year's training. We're about to do this year's training. And our own Jake Turner is actually a lifeguard trainer for open water certification. So he was an excellent added member of our team because he's able to certify all the staff. So we're doing all the same next staff, obviously, because we work off the jet ski, but we're also, while we're at it, doing all natural resource and shellfish staff. We know the town is low on lifeguards, and these folks are out and about in the water all the time. So we're trying to, have more eyes on the water, have more abilities out there. So I just want to say that. And the next training is March. We're super excited. I think we have 10 staff members this year.
So for implementations for vehicles, a new Polaris ATV was purchased to act as a field vehicle in the anticipation that we'll be retiring one of our older ATVs in the year or years to come. A lift gate was added to Patrol Vehicle 327 for maintenance. I can't say how vital this piece of equipment has been for us down at Sandy Neck, between dumping out trashes, moving things around, putting out portable toilets on the beach. It's really saved everyone's backs and it's been a big help to the overall safety of the department. We have outfitted the jet ski with green and white lights for emergency response. And we have also designated an area for a jet ski outpost and response protocols for all title conditions. And we've done a lot of training in regards to the different title conditions when you're going out with the jet ski and the trailers.
Who does the maintenance on your equipment, in particular like the jet ski, which is a little bit odd compared to the rest of the equipment you have?
Yeah, the harbor master has been extremely supportive in the jet ski maintenance and also training for our staff. All our staff also has to have the boater safety certification. And then all our ATVs, UTVs, and our patrol vehicles are serviced by the highway department.
Okay.
In regards to patrols, we did periodic emergency response scenario drills with all of our seasonal staff. We really implemented this year, it was like not predictable, where I think sometimes when you do trainings, like you're going into it, so you know what to anticipate. So we tried doing those scenarios maybe before our Friday meetings, every other week or every once in a while, just to kind of keep everyone fresh, and if a call was to come in, what would happen. In regards to the gatehouse, being on the beach, anywhere in the field, really. We also added an alarmed AED box on the public Bodfish Beach, right between the two lifeguard towers at our handicap ramp, which is a great spot for it, especially if we don't have someone with a vehicle right there, or someone has to run all the way back up to the bathhouse, which is how it used to be.
Does that stay out there 24/7?
It comes in at the end of the night. The whole box apparatus comes off, and we put it out every morning. We also installed a secondary speed radar sign at Trail 1 going in the opposite direction of the one that was already out there, which has helped tremendously with stopping people in speeding. And then we also have now a license plate recognition camera system at the access trail. It was installed and we started utilizing it. We're working with the system to see how we can further use it and work with it to make specific things. It can ding, it can turn red, you can blank things out. So there's a lot of different applications we're still working with to utilize. For safe traffic solutions, we continue to have walkway paths of pavement stay clear of sand and vegetation. With the relocation project, it's really going to be a revamp of all of that, and we anticipate finding solutions once the new parking lot's put in place to keep everything clear and have vegetation cut back as we can on paved paths. We completed trail maintenance monthly for vehicle access. We also did a lot of outreach for the Coastal Resiliency Project to the general public. We kept up with the website as things were closing. We continue to update it weekly. We've sent out push notifications. The town has also put out a couple Facebook posts in regards to what's going on, access limit. And we've done a lot of work with signage. I know there's not a lot of places to park down there. But when we can, we try to get people to be able to park where we need to. We do ask that the general public stay off of any walkways with their vehicles, and anywhere that's coned off, please don't park. The Marsh Trail is still open for hikers, but we ask that you park in the designated parking area only and do not enter the site, even if the gate is open. We also did redirection of traffic for vehicles and pedestrians. So again, please follow signs when you visit the beach. And then generally for the 2026 season, there's going to be a lot of shifting within our safety solutions department. So we're going to be developing and updating safety procedures and emergency response based on the new traffic flow layout. Again, we're going to have the garage and the Marsh Trail is one designated area. We're going to have the gatehouse, and we're also going to have the access trail, and we're going to have the two new parking lots, which will also have a emergency access to the ORV. For vehicles. That will be locked and gated. It will be for staff use and on days that we really need to use it. It won't be open all the time at all. We're going to be updating seasonal staff training manuals and procedures, protocols, and then again, we're going to continue to improve and develop training for both seasonal and full-time staff. We're definitely at a pivotal moment where we are gonna have everything brand new, and really take into consideration what's going on and how it's going to look, and revamp everything as we can.
The box turtle
That
doing
is a
out there.
box turtle.
Isn't that
Found him, he was
wild?
in the parking lot.
Really?
Yeah, found him getting
Oh, there's
lost.
box turtles in the wooded areas. I found them way out there.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
oh yeah,
Oh,
and then
very
they're all
cool.
up in the.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of box turtles that people.
He's in the HCP.
Yeah, he is. I want to open up. I don't know if you have any additional comments. Let's see.
I'll keep my comments brief. As every year, I want to again thank the staff because the work that they're doing is making our work easier. They've done an incredible job again this summer. And one of the things that I was looking at was were our calls for service to the beach. They have decreased, but I think that those calls for service are decreasing because of the proactive work that the staff is doing. So that's important. I would say if you went back, 10, 15 years ago,
Oh my goodness.
I don't think that I think the staff now I think there's more permanent staff instead of mostly seasonal staff, and that makes a huge difference. I think they're more professional because they're there all the time, and they've taken some ownership of this. And that makes a big, big difference too. Sometimes we were going out there because we had to handle problems that the staff probably shouldn't have been in because they didn't know any better. And this staff, I think, has it dialed in pretty good. So thank you for that because again, it does make our job easier. Our calls for service also have gone down, I think, because Nina specifically and the rest of the staff have gotten the message out to not only the campers, but the day trippers, that there's certain behaviors that just are not gonna be tolerated. And they are taking actions with them, whether it's a verbal warning, whether it's a, hey, you know what, you're gone for the day, or maybe every once in a while somebody gets a sticker taken away. That message goes through the beach, and it goes through the beach quickly. And usually I think it's a strategy, but at the beginning of the summer, we take a hard stance on something. We don't go looking for it, but it always will present itself. And when we take the hard stance on it, that message gets delivered, and I think it really makes the rest of the summer go easier. So again, I think all in all, the summer was probably a pretty good one. And it really comes down to the work that the Sandy Neck staff is doing.
Yeah, I'd just like to add that, I mean, there's a lot of people to thank. You listed the people, the organizations that you guys work with to make Sandy Neck a safe place. And it's certainly, I'm sure the board would join me in thanking all those organizations for all the teamwork. But I think a presentation like tonight actually makes you kind of proud to be associated with Sandy Neck. I mean, you guys, I've been through a lot of safety presentations and safety, dealing with safety in organizations all my career. You guys are really on top of it, and are always looking for something new to do, proactively looking for opportunities to improve. And you can never prevent the last accident. You really can't. But you have to be always thinking about where are those risks and how do we mitigate them? How do we reduce the risks? And it's clear from what you see on your reports every year that's what's happening. You can't. Things are going to happen, and sometimes you can't prevent them. But you have to have enough systems and processes in place to mitigate as much as possible those risks. And I commend you guys for that. You're really on top of your game. And thanks also to Chris and his team for all the teamwork and support you provide out there. It makes a big difference. So thanks to you guys too.
You're mentoring the young staff too. I mean, Chris comes to our meetings, we go through scenarios. It's really important that staff knows that the PD's there and that we have somebody we can bounce ideas off of, concerns, proactively. What do I do with this situation? I mean, I think this relationship is really important.
And the staff you're talking about actually increases significantly during the summer. And every year it's mostly different people, which is another challenge because I mentioned culture early, and that's when these new staff come in and they sense that culture, then they start to switch on to what's expected of them, and as long as you guys are all singing from the same book, then they kind of get it quickly, and it's tough because they're coming in for a few months, and then next year it's another group, and that's tricky to manage that. So yeah, really good job, guys. Any other comments from the team here?
No, well done.
One thing I'd love to add, as kind of what you were saying in regards to like our staff being new every year, we've really seen that positive influence from the Barnstable Police Department of when our seasonal staffs, even if it's just a question or it was a hard interaction, especially if there's a detail officer on or if an officer can come on when they're on patrol just to talk to them, it really has gone a long way with our staff members, especially as they're still learning how to interact in difficult situations with the public. So.
And I think a lot of that comes down to consistency, and I would say while there are police patrols on Sandy Neck every weekend during the season and then some intermittent weekends outside of the main season, I would say the vast majority of the officers that are taking those patrol shifts are taking them on a number of different days. So you're not getting just random police officers out there, you're getting the same ones who know the beach, who know the staff, who are able to interact with the patrons, because I mean most of the patrons out there are the same patrons day after day after day. And as far as the staff goes, I mean I think this goes back, I mean as far as May of every year when Lieutenant Riley does the training for the staff members, getting ready for the season as well. So I mean I think that consistency year over year has helped out too. I mean Lieutenant Riley does a great job getting everyone prepared and having this little pep talk for them as they're getting ready to go out and start the season. So it works well. I think we've had a great relationship between the police department and Sandy Neck, and then when you bring in the harbor masters, the fire departments, it all just sort of meshes.
Good job. Any other comments? Any public comment?
Yeah, public.
Thanks. So you have to come up here to be on the microphone.
Oh, okay.
And identify yourself.
No longer, not that they're not putting these.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Sorry. Well, I'd like
Lights are in the ceiling.
I can
That's
speak.
fine.
I can speak.
Speak
loud.
up.
Just 4 quick questions. You know, having listened to the
I'm
discussions
sorry, could you just
tonight.
identify yourself so we know?
Oh, Peter Levine.
Hi, Peter.
Yeah, from Marston's Mills. Was there a change in the parking capacity with the new parking lots?
The parking lot has slightly more spots. I think it's 16. That's off the top of my head. Most of that we had to use the same amount of square footage of impervious, but because the old parking lot wasn't well striped and wasn't well thought through, we were able to get some more spots.
Okay. And then the license plate reader, what's the lead time from the time a person gets the permit to it's actually programmed into it? So somebody doesn't get a permit, drives off, and then gets beeped if they don't have a permit.
It's twice a day it's downloaded.
Okay.
And so, but we know that, and we have a visual as well, so we know we just sold that person a sticker.
Okay, and then third question, was there a thought on creating 2 exit roads off of the off-road vehicle road so that people who don't want to air up?
Yes, there is we're calling it an emergency access. It's at the eastern end of the lower lot. It'll be gated and locked.
Oh.
And it'll be used for a couple of things. It'll be used for emergency response. It'll be used if the access trail is blocked. We've had a fire on the access trail and we weren't able to get emergency personnel on the beach. So it's kind of another way of getting emergency personnel out there as quick as possible. And then there's a couple nights a year where we just need to get people off the beach. About a third of people on those really busy nights don't want to air up. They just want to go home.
Right.
So we'll be able to station an officer up there, and people who just want to leave can just go through the parking lot and drain out of the park quicker.
Right, because I know you've
but
had.
it's not open and it's not access for campers. If your camper can't make it up the access trail, do not think I'm opening that gate for you.
Yeah, I was
because you
just
still
wondering
have to navigate the beach. So.
Yeah, because sometimes you post officers on the road to help guide
Right.
cars that clearly
Right.
are
So
telling your officers that we don't want to air up and they have to wait for people not coming onto the beach.
Exactly.
But I didn't know if you were trying to make at least the road wider so that
One thing
it
that we're
gets safety.
doing.
You don't want people jumping out of their car looking and then somebody's coming up behind
One thing
them.
we're doing to help with that is there won't be the middle fence with the shed at where everyone will be airing up. All the air hoses will be off to the side. So if you need to come up to the middle, there'll be a spot for you to do so. We still probably will have staff there during busy periods just to help with the traffic, but there won't be as congested in that area. And there will also be auxiliary air at the garage.
Oh, okay.
So the feeling was to make the access trail wide enough so you aren't airing up in the access trail. You still have an on and an off
On and off,
trail.
okay.
And then people are off the trail, airing up or airing down. And that took some reconfiguring.
And I think my last question, I saw the handicap ramp. Do you have one of those wheelchairs with the big wheels that people
Yes,
can reserve
many.
or somewhere?
We have 2 water accessible wheelchairs,
Okay.
another small beach wheelchair, and then we also have 2 walkers.
Okay.
The access for folks that are challenged, mobility challenged, is gonna be the far east corner of the lower lot. That's where the handicap spots are gonna be. And that's where the least amount of elevation change is happening, so there'll be a Moby mat down there and the wheelchairs.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
I would point out that Peter is a father of a Troop 54 Eagle Scout a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago.
Gotcha.
Good questions. Any other discussion issues? I'll look for a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thanks, everybody. See you next month for the illuminating presentation by Mr. Sam.